Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to have you here today. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and of course, subscribe to stay updated with all our new videos. If you're ready to practice your English speaking skills, you're in the right place. Today, we have a very special story. It's called A Weekend I Spent in Nature, and it's all about reconnecting with the natural world and finding peace away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. I'm going to share my personal experience of spending a weekend in the forest, and as I tell this story, I want you to repeat after me. It's a great way to improve your pronunciation, listening skills, and confidence when speaking English. So, get comfortable, relax, and let's dive into the story. Last weekend was unlike any other. It wasn't full of parties, shopping, or screens. It was simple, quiet, and in many ways, life-changing. It all began on a Thursday evening. I was sitting in front of my laptop, my eyes burning from staring at the screen for too long. My phone was buzzing nonstop. Messages, emails, notifications. It was overwhelming. I closed the laptop, put the phone on silent, and just sat in silence. In that moment of stillness, I asked myself a simple question. When was the last time I felt truly alive? Not just functioning, not just checking boxes or completing tasks, but really, truly alive. And I couldn't remember. That night, I decided I needed something different. Not a vacation with selfies and souvenirs. Not a hotel with Wi-Fi and swimming pools. I needed nature. I needed trees, dirt paths, the sound of birds, and the kind of silence that only the forest can offer. So I packed a small bag. A tent, a sleeping bag, some basic food, a flashlight, a water bottle, and a journal. No laptop, no tablet, no distractions. On Saturday morning, I left the city. I boarded an early train that took me to a small town surrounded by hills and forest. From there, I walked. At first, the path was easy, paved, wide, and familiar. But as I went deeper, the trail turned wild. Uneven ground, tall grass, and insects buzzing in the air. And I loved it. With every step, I could feel the city fading behind me. The noise, the pressure, the hurry, all of it melted away. The air smelled like wet soil and pine needles. Birds sang melodies I hadn't heard in years. Squirrels ran across the trees, and sometimes I caught sight of a deer or a rabbit hopping away. There were no deadlines here. No honking cars. No endless scrolling. Just nature, raw and real. By noon, I found a flat area near a small stream. The water was clear and cold, flowing gently over smooth stones. I set up my tent beneath a tall oak tree. Its branches reached out like open arms. I felt safe, sheltered, welcome. After setting up camp, I lay on the ground and looked up. The sky was wide and open. Clouds drifted slowly like ships in a calm ocean. I hadn't looked at the sky in so long. Not like this. Not with attention. For lunch, I boiled some noodles over a tiny portable stove. Simple, but delicious. Everything tastes better when you're surrounded by trees. After eating, I walked barefoot along the edge of the stream. The water was freezing at first, but then it became refreshing. I skipped stones, watched fish swim under the surface, and just listened to the world around me. I wrote in my journal about my thoughts, about how strange and beautiful silence can be when you finally allow yourself to hear it. As the sun began to set, the light turned golden. The forest glowed. The shadows stretched long, and the sound of birds changed. From songs of morning to calls of rest. I climbed a small hill nearby. From the top, I could see the forest stretching endlessly. Trees as far as the eye could see. No buildings, no highways. Just green, gold, and sky. I sat on a rock and watched the sun disappear behind the trees. The wind was gentle, cool. It brushed against my skin like a quiet whisper. I closed my eyes, and I smiled. For the first time in a long time, I didn't want anything more than what I had in that moment. Back at the camp, I lit a small campfire. The flames crackled softly. I made tea and sat close, warming my hands. Above me, the stars began to appear. First a few, then dozens, then hundreds. It was breathtaking. The Milky Way stretched across the sky like a glowing river. I had never seen the stars so clearly. In the city, they are hidden. But here, they told stories. I lay on my back, wrapped in a blanket, watching the night sky like a movie. Shooting stars flew by every few minutes. And for each one, I made a wish. I wished for peace, for clarity, for more moments like this. Sleep came easily. I fell asleep to the sound of the river, the rustling leaves, and the quiet rhythm of my own breath. In the early morning, I woke up before the sun. The forest was still. Mist floated between the trees. It looked like a scene from a fairy tale. I stepped outside my tent and stood barefoot on the cold earth. I stretched my arms toward the sky and breathed in the crisp, clean air. I made a small breakfast, packed my things, and sat one last time by the stream. The water whispered softly, like it knew I was leaving. I said thank you to the trees, to the stream, to the silence. And then I walked back to the edge of the forest, back to the world I had paused. Since returning, I feel different. Lighter, more grounded, more alive. Now I notice things I used to ignore. the sound of leaves in the wind, the softness of morning light, the beauty of doing nothing at all. That weekend wasn't just a break. It was a return to myself. Sometimes we don't need more noise. We need less. Sometimes the best way to find clarity is to get lost in nature. So, if you ever feel overwhelmed, if your heart is heavy and your mind is full, step outside. Even if it's just a park, a tree, a walk down a quiet road. Let nature remind you of what really matters. Let it teach you how to be still, how to breathe, how to simply be. Well done, everyone. You did an amazing job repeating the story with me. I hope you enjoyed this peaceful journey into nature and felt inspired to spend a little time outside yourself. Remember, practicing your English every day, even just for a few minutes, can make a huge difference in your fluency. So keep it up. And don't forget to practice speaking in real-life situations too. If you liked this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future stories and English practice sessions. And as always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep practicing.